Lesson 4 is upon us and you're still here. I'm not surprised. So today we're going to start with some other verbs. The verbs to live and to go, morar and ir. They're pretty simple to use, and we'll definitely give you some examples. So here we go. We're going to start to get a little more intense with our Portuguese. Hope you enjoy it. So our first verb is the verb morar. As I have written here, it isn't necessarily you're living as in you're a living person, right? It's alive. That's not what it is. It's to live where you reside, right? The location in which you reside. So you can say, I live in the United States, right? So I live in the USA is Eu moro nos Estados Unidos, right? And where do I get that from? Eu moro. Well, I go to our friendly little verb chart here. Remember, I mentioned that every verb has its own chart. So here, I just want to remind you that in each square you have a different pronoun. So eu, this is I, nós, we, vocês, you, he, she, you, plural, and they, right? So, eu moro would be I live. Você mora would be you or he, she lives. Nos moramos, we live. And vocês moram be use plural or they live. Okay? It's the verb morar. To live. So with that verb morar, there's certain articles that you need to learn so that you can properly identify the place that you're living in. So just as an example, if you look here when I wrote I live in the United States, nos. So eu moro nos Estados Unidos. As we'll learn in the next slide, that means in. In. There are a couple ways of saying in. So we'll describe that now. So it is important to know that because there are multiple forms of the word the, there are multiple ways of describing a location. So remember that every word has an article before it, right? So if you think of a country, right? So you actually say o Brasil, literally the Brazil, right? That's just how you do it, right? So you have to have an article before, right? So if you write it out, it'd be like this. You could say, oops, eu moro em o Brasil. But Portuguese, and one of the reasons why I like Portuguese is because it combines some of these smaller words together. So it won't become eu moro em o Brasil, it becomes eu moro no Brasil. Okay? So if you look here, and make another little chart. Okay. So you have a word like en, which means in, right? In. So if the place has an O for the article, like Brazil, it becomes eu moro no Brasil. For example, something like Italy would be a Italia. So you say eu moro na Italia. Remember? So we're just combining the M and the O. Right? So M plus O gives us no. M plus A gives you na. For the United States, it's plural and it's an O, right? So it's en os be Nos. Estados Unidos. For something plural with an A, I'm trying to think what would be a good example of that. There's probably many. Drawing a blank here. So it would just be M plus as. Math. Okay, we'll practice more at that. So here we're going to talk about the verb morar. We're going to have some examples. So he lives in Brazil, right? So he is ele. If you look at the verb chart, it's morar. I'm sorry, of morar, it would be mora, ele mora. What's the article for Brazil? It's o, right? So ele mora, Brazil, right? So like I said, the in plus the article, I'm sorry, in plus the article, in this case would be o, right? Brazil. We live in New York. Nós moramos en New York. There isn't an article there because it's just a city, right? I live in England would be eu moro na Inglaterra. Okay, so this is another side note. If there's a double R like that, it becomes like an H, right? So in Spanish, you may have to roll the R's, right? Inglaterra. Portuguese, you don't do that, fortunately. Inglaterra. Teja. So a double R, make a side note, becomes like an H. Okay? Eu moro na Inglaterra. In Inglaterra, England, for example, it ends with the letter A, right? So more times than not, the article will be A. So you combine the N plus the A to get na. You live in Rio de Janeiro. Você mora no Rio de Janeiro. I will admit, sometimes it's complicated because you don't know what country, has what article, O or A, for example, right? And for cities also. So New York doesn't have an article, just in Nova York, in New York. But Rio actually does have an article, it's O. So, você mora no Rio de Janeiro. They, Japan, eles moram Japão. So I'll just repeat these in Portuguese just so you can practice listening. Ele mora no Brasil. Nós moramos em Nova York. Eu moro na Inglaterra. Você mora no Rio de Janeiro. Eles moram no Japão. Now we have the verb ir, just to go. So once again, our friendly little verb chart here. So remember, I, you, he, she, we, you plural, and they. All right, so this is the conjugation chart. So eu vou. Eu vou. I go. Você vai. So you, he, she, go. Nós vamos. We go. Vocês vão. So you plural. They go. Okay. So one other thing, if you see a word, for example, like estão or vão, right? How does that sound? So it's kind of difficult, and it doesn't have an equal in English, right? But it's a very nasally sound, right? So it isn't estão. It's not estão. It's not vowel. It's estão, tão, estão, estão. Vão, vão, vão. So I guess one way you can practice if you say the word ow, right? But say it like nasally. Estão, vão. Vocês vão. So it takes some practice, believe me. And then if you see in the bottom corner here, I wrote the preposition para is used to tell where you are going. So I go to New York. Eu vou para Nova York. So it's like saying to, right? It describes the location that you're going to. Eu vou para Nova York. Some examples of the verb ir. So where are you going? Right, translates to para onde você vai? Right, onde, if you remember, is where. Você is you. And vai is go. So where do you go? Where are you going? So where are these people going? So I go to São Paulo. Eu vou para São Paulo, right? Eu vou. Eu vou. There you go. We friends. Nós vamos para a França. Oh, look, Ohio. That's where I'm currently in right now. You going to Ohio. Você vai para Ohio. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if Ohio has an article. I'm going to say no. She goes to Bahia. Bahia is a state in northeastern Brazil. Very beautiful. I've been there. Some nice beaches. The biggest city in Bahia is called Salvador. Extremely old city. One of the first places colonized. About 500 years old, that city. It's very, very, very beautiful. Has some nice, ancient districts, you can say, or antiquated places. So definitely check it out. And then the interior of Bahia, a lot of mountains, a lot of national parks and everything, very beautiful. So she goes to Bahia. Ela vai, sorry, not Ellie, ela vai para Bahia. They, California. I would love to be in California right now. Eles vão para California. Let's repeat it in Portuguese. Eu vou para São Paulo. Eu vou para São Paulo. Nós vamos para a França. Nós vamos para a França. Você vai para Ohio. Você vai para Ohio. Ela vai para Bahia. Ela vai para Bahia. Eles vão para a Califórnia. Eles vão para a Califórnia. Review. So we're actually going to combine some of the things from this lesson and previous lesson into a nice little dialogue just to sum everything up. João. Olá, senhor. Tudo bem hoje? Bom dia, João. Como você está? Estou bem, mas estou muito cansado. Eu vou para o Rio de Janeiro hoje à tarde. Oops. That should be a Rio de Janeiro hoje à tarde. Por que você vai para o Rio? Eu vou porque minha irmã mora lá. Você é do Rio também, não é? Sim, sou. Tchau, João. Até mais, Marcos. So let's break it down. Let's talk about what we just mentioned. So João is the Portuguese version of John. João. So, olá, senhor. Tudo bem hoje? So, hi. Senor is like saying sir, right? So, a lot of times if you talk with people that are older than you, or have some kind of profession, right? You call them senor, sir. Tudo bem hoje? So, all well. And hoje is today. So that's a nice little vocabulary word for you. Marcos. Good morning, João. How are you? So, bom dia is another good way of greeting somebody. So I don't know if we mentioned that in the last lesson where we talked about greetings, but bom dia is very important also. So it just means good morning. Bom dia. Bom dia. João. Estou bem. I'm well. But I'm very tired. So muito is like very, right? Muito cansado. Very tired. Muito. I'm going to Rio today. Por que você vai para o Rio? Why are you going to Rio? Why are you going to Rio? I go because minha irmã. So that's my sister. So minha is the feminine version it's a feminine way of saying my, right? So minha, my sister. If it was your brother, you could say meu irmão, right? Minha irmã mora lá. There. La is like saying there, like distant. She lives over there in Rio. You are from Rio also. Aren't you? Sim, eu sou. Yes, I am. See you later. Até mais.